Here's try number 2. Well, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're here at the rickety table, which means we're gonna torture and possibly destroy another knife for you today. I don't know what it is. You guys seem to like to watch videos of me destroying knives, but cue montage of me destroying knives. In today's video of our knife torture test, we are going to torture test something I picked up at the local Walmart. That's right. It's Camillus titanium bonded. I don't know if there's any other 5.9 inch drop point. I don't know what they're calling this knife, but it's a Camillus fixed blade knife. It has a 4.5 inch blade, a 9.5 inch overall length. Camillus is supposedly been in business since 1876. They're owned by Acme Corporation, but this knife, ladies and gentlemen, is made, you guessed it,
let's say China.
We're gonna bust this thing open. We're gonna put it through the ringer. This thing cost me all of $10 and some change, I believe, with tax. So, you know what? My son has this knife. Noah has this knife, and I've always kind of liked this knife. I would maybe borrow it from him and hold it and compare it and say, man, for $10, it seems like a quality knife, and he's used the heck out of his. So let's open it up here and see what we got in this box before we destroy it. All right, so the interesting thing about Camillus is it says that at Camillus, our legendary products are supported by an equally legendary promise. If your Camillus product fails to perform due to defects in material or workmanship, we will replace it regardless of age. Normal wear, sharpening, industrial use, or abuse, misuse, or neglect is not covered. Wait, did I read that right? Normal wear, sharpening, industrial use, or abuse, misuse, or neglect is not covered. Defective products will be repaired, replaced, or substituted with the same product or one of equal value. There's the knife. There's our sheath. This is a pretty knife. I have to refrain myself from falling in love with this cheap knife. Their website says it has a carbon nitride titanium blade, which I'm not sure. I'm still, after researching, not sure what a carbon nitride titanium is. I believe it's some kind of coating they put on the blade to make it stronger. Their claim is 10 times stronger than an untreated blade. But it also gives it a non-stick sort of coating. So it's got a saber grind and this gray rubber handle, and it's a very dense rubber handle. It's very little cushion in it, very little give in it. But the thing I love about this knife is how ergonomical it is. It is just so natural in my hand. It just feels so good. It's got these little thumb ridges on the top here. But it is a good feeling knife. And that's what, you know, when I would, borrow my son's knife, that's what I really enjoyed about this. It just felt like solid. It's got a full tang blade coming all the way to the end of the handle, and then it's got a lanyard hole. But it's a beautiful knife when you look at it. I mean, when you would look at a knife like this, I mean, I would probably pay upwards of 3 times the cost of this knife, what I paid for it. It's, you know, if you could easily fool me into paying that much for this knife just based on the looks. Now, performance, it might be another story. We're yet to find out how it's going to perform. But yeah, the sheath just feels a little bit lighter. You know what I would love to do is to find like a leather sheath or a better quality sheath that fits this knife. So you have the Camillus titanium logo on there. So you can see, and it snaps closed just like so. It's a nice snug fit, so that knife is not going to come out. But yeah, just a nice, stunning blade. I love the blade. I love the ratio of this knife of handle to blade. Like I said, it's kind of an eye candy knife, but it's a little bit embarrassing that it's $10. So will it hold up? Let's find out. But we're gonna put it through some tests here and see. We like to do a lot of different tests on our knives and torture test them and really just try to destroy them. So I'm out $10 on this knife, but I hope you guys, hope you like it. And if it ends up being a good knife, maybe you can go out and get your own. But stick around, here we go. So I'm not sure where I was going with this other than I wanted to pound this knife into this log and then just see how much abuse it could withstand. And I started throwing it up against this tree, and then I must have hit the blade just right to where the blade snapped clean in half. As you can see, here's the handle laying over here, and the blade is still embedded down inside this oak log. And of course, in order to retrieve the blade, I had to go ahead and split this log in half. But don't worry, stick around. I'm going to buy more of these knives, and we're going to get this knife through all the tests that I typically put my knives through. All right, here's try number 2.
Let's go ahead and get one more just in case.
So we got everything out of the package here on our second knife, and we're gonna go ahead and do one thing fresh out of the package. We're gonna take the tip guard off here and do a paper test here. So this is just a paper that came with this knife, little washing and cleaning instructions. Let's see if we can, how good of an edge is on this blade here. Nice. It's not too bad. Well, you can see that side. That's actually really impressive. You know, I gotta give this thing some credit where credit is due. I was absolutely abusing this poor little knife when I threw it up against that tree multiple times. That is not normal wear and tear, obviously. But, you know, for the money, for $10, I'm gonna stand by this knife and just say that I'm still relatively impressed with this. We're gonna run it through some more tests and see how well it performs. But if they could just not make it with holes in the blade, that would be so amazing. But anyways, all right, let's put it through some more tests. I think we're gonna throw it. So one of the quickest ways to destroy a knife is to repeatedly yeet it into a tree like we're about to do. There it is.
Bing ya. Yeet.
Okay, next up is everybody's favorite segment, everybody's favorite test. Personally, my favorite as well, is the road drag. So here we go. Let's see how it holds up.
Love you.
We just dragged it about a mile down paved road and then about another mile down the dirt road. Let's check out, you want to come in close here and check out the damage, if there is any. So it looks like this got basically sanded down here. There's dirt packed up inside. And I don't see any, there's obviously some light nicks and scrapes along the blade, but no big chunks taken out that I can tell. It's still got a decent edge on it. But yeah, some good scratches there. And just the handle, as expected, is pretty chewed up. But man, the fact that it survived like it did is pretty impressive. All right, it survived. All right, well, welcome back to our closing remarks here. We're gonna wrap this video up at the rickety table. This knife, I've gotta say, and I've got to admit, for $10, I am quite impressed. I wrote out a list of pros and cons here. Before I read this pros and cons list, I wanna go ahead and test out our edge one more time on a piece of paper. After all this abuse, after all this use and dragging it down the road for a couple miles and chopping and throwing and all kinds of stuff, we're gonna see if it'll actually still split a piece of paper like it did back at the beginning. You ready? It's struggling. It's just really struggling. That's okay. Now back to the... No, it's... not what it was when we started, clearly, but that's okay. That's understandable, I suppose. So I'm gonna put some B-roll footage, the before and after footage here, and show you side-by-side comparison what this knife looked like new versus what it looks like now. But we've done a lot of different tests with it, and it's a little bit worse for the wear. Let's talk about pros and cons of this knife. I'm gonna give you 3 of each real quick and let you make up your own mind whether or not you wanna buy this knife. Pros is the affordability, obviously coming in at $10 and some change with tax. You can't find, except maybe the Mora 511, which I've tested out in a prior video, you can't find many knives with this level of durability coming in that price range. Ergonomical design, I love the design of this knife. It fits snugly in your hand, it feels good, it feels very natural in your hand. Thirdly, last pro is it maintained a pretty good edge on it. And let's talk about 3 cons now. There are holes in the blade, as you saw when I broke the blade in half and I actually stripped the handle down. I don't know if I have to ask some more knife experts, but I don't know if it fully qualifies as a full tang handle, or a full tang blade, I should say, because of how many holes are in it. I think there's like 4 or 5 actually holes bored out in this, which reduce the integrity and the strength of the overall blade. Con number 2, the handle, while comfortable, is sort of the death knell and one of its weakest points of this knife. So if you look at it, a lot of the most visible wear and tear comes on the handle itself. Con number 3, the sheath feels cheap. The sheath feels a little bit on the gimmicky side already in the short amount of time that I've owned this and used it and tortured it. There's some fraying that's happening here, some fraying that's happening on the edges here. The snap is already showing some signs of rust, and I could just tell you right now the knife is eventually going to split through here and slice its way through this sheath. So let me do it this way, I guess. You can buy this knife if you want to buy this knife. I would not let your life for an instant depend on a knife like this. However, if you're looking for a knife, you know, maybe you could buy 3 or 4 of these knives, put them in every glove box of your car or in your tackle box. These could be your, oh crap, I forgot my real knife. But I would not depend on this for your life. I would not depend on this for survival. But I'm gonna rank this out of 10 stars. I'm gonna rank this 5 out of 10 stars. So, like I said, it's got some serious setbacks, but at the price point at which you could buy this knife, they might be tolerable setbacks. But, well guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. Hey, if I've earned it, and I've worked hard enough on this video, would you consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more videos like this? Let me know in the comments below, do you own this knife? Would you buy this knife? What do you like? What do you dislike about it? What is your favorite knife? I'd love to hear from you guys. And most importantly, is there a knife you would like to see me torture test? Put it in the comments below. I will read every comment and respond to a few of them. So guys, keep it real. We will see you in the next video. So long.